the trade war's back on.
So tell me what you understand about this Federal Reserve cut on the rates. Like, what do you understand so far?
Only thing I know is like I think it hasn't happened since 2008.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago, over 10 years.
Which was after the housing financial bubble.
That's right.
And the reason why the Fed does this is they only do this usually like in a down economy, which is fucking weird because our economy
is not down.
It's been like it's the best ever.
Yeah.
Unemployment's at historic lows.
Yeah.
Everyone's racking in fat bags, just not everyone, but
yeah.
It seems like on paper everything's Gucci, but for some reason, I don't know.
And what was it?
I don't know, dude. That's hard to understand what the Fed's like. I don't know. It's like a secret.
They're flexing. That's what they're doing.
What do you mean?
They're flexing. They say, well, we're just going to do rate cuts right now.
You think so?
Well, for no reason, they're doing a rate cut.
But it's like everybody's anticipating a recession soon, right? Everybody's been sounding the alarm bell. Again, based off historical.
It's due.
It's due. Yeah, we're due for it. I mean, there's signs of his excuse. I think was for like global growth is slowing, not necessarily the United States.
Yeah,
but I think like the Federal Reserve, they're claiming they're just worried about the global landscape of the economy.
Yeah.
So I guess to kind of like, I don't know, keep America prosperous, they think they need to lower the interest rates.
Well, what do you think this interest rate's going to do to the price of Bitcoin?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's obviously spooked Wall Street because as soon as they announced all this shit, the stocks went down like crazy.
Yep.
And what happened? Gold went up because I'm paying attention to gold because I own it.
Yeah.
And I love it right now. I love being a gold owner right now, dude. I'm telling you.
Well, why your 5% gains? I don't understand. Why you?
Dude, what do you mean? It's a store value, and it's going up. My fucking stored value has been increasing, man. If I had that money in stocks, I'd be getting killed right now.
No, that's true, for sure.
Actually, that's not true. Stocks have been going up pretty good, too.
Well, they've been going up for the past decade.
Yeah, stocks have been killing it, man.
Yeah.
And Trump is, like, latching on to he's claiming all responsibility for this monumental run-up.
Well, here's the thing. And so, obviously, Bitcoin is a global asset, right?
Yeah.
And the United States decides to cut these rates, and which means it's increasing the supply of the dollar. And so anytime you increase the supply of the dollar, the prices of everything goes up. Milk, bread, Bitcoin, gold, everything.
Yeah.
Just because the value of the dollar decreases and therefore things get more expensive, it's seemingly more expensive.
Yeah.
Because the value of the dollar just went down. And so, you were talking about the price of Bitcoin 2021, whatever it is, when it peaks after that parabolic run-up.
That's what everyone's kind of...
You were saying it was going to reach, let's say, 200K, 250.
Yeah, everyone's conservative these days, about 100K.
Yeah.
Whenever in 2017, nobody expected 20K. Everyone was thinking like 10, 12.
10 was the number just because of
that was a psychological... And again, we're doing the same... We're repeating history. Everyone's got that 100,000 barrier in their mind.
Yeah.
It's something about our brain chemistry. We just love that number.
Yeah.
1000,
Well, it's a log, right? You go from 10 to 100,000.
Yeah, that's probably why we program everything in ones and zeros, right?
Yeah.
We just really love ones and zeros, man. But so again, I think it'll bust right through that shit and probably hit like 200,000.
Well, that's why I bring it up is because now with these rate cuts, there's a chance it could be $200,000 Bitcoin.
Okay, but see, not just because of rate cuts, but you're saying what follows this or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, just because the value of the dollar goes down, I'm thinking it's not really going to be $100,000 Bitcoin at its peak. It could be $200,000. So now I'm sort of agreeing with you that it could actually be $200,000. It's hard for me to believe just because it's double of $100,000. I mean, that takes a lot of resources to do that. Right, monetary resources.
It's true. The amount of money that has to pour into the market is going to be insane.
But not only that, once it reaches $100,000, I would think the pleb is going to be entering Bitcoin.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And then everybody's going to be experts.
But that's what I don't know about that.
Well, that's what they think. It's like, look, I got in at 110,000 and look at it, it's 120.
Yeah, it's true. But I don't think any of this shit matters as far as like rate cuts and stuff. Once we hit that 100,000 point, that's euphoric. That's the euphoria phase all over again. That alone is what's going to drive the price up to 200,000. It's going to be a global fucking like panic. I wouldn't call it panic. It's going to be like
It's like the opposite of an apocalypse.
Yeah, it's just fucking greed. Everyone's
yeah.
gonna see like, holy shit! Like I remember like 5 years ago, Bitcoin was 20K and everyone was freaking out. You know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like in 2021, they're all
Yeah.
gonna say this, and then so it's FOMO. They're gonna fucking FOMO again, just like they did in 2017. I think
but I
that's
agree
what's
with
gonna
you.
push.
I agree with you. I
And
think
then at some point, the whales are gonna just like dump their bags on everybody,
Yeah.
like just like they always do.
yeah.
You know?
No, I think
I hope
we're gonna
that's
see
what
a level of FOMO that we haven't seen on any other asset.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's gonna be like, because everybody says like, not everybody. I watched that Peter Schiff debate.
oh yeah, I missed it. I should have.
Yeah, dude, we could probably make some like good snippets out of that. Like
Yeah.
just like go over it, and because the guy
How long was it?
it was an hour.
Okay.
And he debated a guy that's pretty fucking. He sounded really smart, like a smart dude. I don't know what his history is, but
Yeah.
he gave Peter Schiff some good arguments. But I think at the end of the day, Peter Schiff.
Dude, Peter Schiff is kind of leaning towards Bitcoin. He won't
No,
say
he
it.
even admitted like he was a total mistake that he didn't buy it when he fucking first heard about it. Like when it was $10.
Yeah.
But his contention is he thinks it's done. Like the bubble already happened, and it's never going to be above 20,000 again.
Yeah, but how many times have we heard that? I mean,
I know,
come on,
it's true.
Peter. You've been around since it was $10.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
He saw the whole fucking thing happen, dude. He
Yeah.
like refused to buy any of it just because he's so.
Yeah.
I love my gold. You know, when he bought, like, I think gold's maybe.
I'm sure he's.
I think it's gone. No, like in 2010 or 2000. When was Bitcoin made? 2009 or 2008?
Well, it was released in January 2009.
Okay. Well, my point is like
January
his gold
3rd.
holdings did nothing compared to what Bitcoin did. You know what I mean?
Well, for sure.
It's from that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like getting into gold in the 1930s.
What do you mean?
Like
like
getting
Bitcoin?
Yeah, getting into Bitcoin is like getting into gold in 1930s
Yeah.
because it had its own parabolic run up too.
Yeah. The thing he doesn't really understand, I feel like, is like, and the guy he was debating against didn't really emphasize that I think I would emphasize a little bit
Yeah.
to him, because he's an older gentleman. You know, there's nothing wrong about that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. He's from an older generation. He doesn't necessarily grasp the technological movement that's happening right now, as far as like,
Yeah.
like we've talked about everything. Because he kept on bringing up the tangibility aspect over and over and over again.
Yeah, which is
Like
silly.
something to us younger folk, you know, we don't give a fuck about none of that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we always talk about how Bitcoin has similar or better properties than gold, you know.
But you would think someone who is attracted for gold for what gold is, you would think that they would see what Bitcoin is and its similarities to gold and just at least buy $100 worth when it was $10.
Yeah, that's exactly what the dude told him. He's like, you know, how, like, you're kind of, without being so mean about it, like, kind of like you're fucking retarded, just putting at least like 10%
Yeah.
into Bitcoin, like when you did,
Yeah.
you could have, you know, you would have been.
See, right now he would have $100,000. He would have converted.
Yeah. If you would have bought $10
$100
Bitcoins, you could have bought like, dude, he's a wealthy man. He could have bought easily like 1,000 Bitcoins for like,
Yeah.
how much is $10? That's 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's nothing to him.
Yeah.
And he'd be like one of the richest men
Yeah.
in the Bitcoin world, you know, with 1,000 BTC. He'd be
Dude,
chilling.
he'd be shilling BTC.
Exactly. He wouldn't be
He would
fighting
be,
it.
yeah.
And that's his argument. The reason why.
But I don't know, man. I think this guy is hiding like 100 BTC somewhere.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Dude, because he's all in gold, man. That's why he's so against it.
Gold
You
is
know?
so boring.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying, but I don't know. That debate was interesting. But yeah, he needed to grill in Peter Schiff's mind that the newer generation doesn't give so much fucks about like the physical realm. Like we're more in
Yeah.
tune with virtual shit,
Yeah.
digital.
Yeah.
You know, like kids they spend their fucking, you know, all their money on digital clothes for their digital characters and shit,
Mhm.
and they're wearing like rags. You know,
Which I would even argue it's like that's weird. But
what do you mean?
to buy digital stuff for your character,
Why is that weird?
especially if it's not NFTs. If it was NFTs, I would understand.
Well, no, it's like because they spend the majority of their time playing these video games and stuff, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but to spend money on a thing that's like vaporware, like it has no value. That's where I get caught
yeah,
up.
but
on.
when you're a kid, you're not thinking about value or like
Oh,
ROI
yeah.
and shit like that. You know, no kids out there like, man, am I gonna get a return on these $20?
Yeah,
No, dude, they just impulse buy. It's like Pokemon cards, you know. But actually, Pokemon, you would have gotten an ROI.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never know. some of these.
See, but remember, we were all collecting cards, right? Whether it was Pokemon or basketball cards, we knew that when we bought these cards, that it could be worth something in the future.
I'll be honest, I didn't even think about that when
Really?
I was spending all my parents' money on Pokemon cards. I was going ham, dude. And yeah, I didn't give a fuck about the future. I just wanted to be that kid in the school who was like, check me out.
My Charizard.
Yeah, I actually did get a Charizard too, dude.
Yeah.
I opened up like a first edition.
You on a regular pack. You received a Charizard.
I got the golden Charizard that everybody wants today.
Yeah.
I got one, and I was retarded, dude. I got scammed by some douchebag. So my lack of like you again. I just told you I wasn't thinking about how the value of the card.
Yeah.
So when some dude came up to me and saw that I had this gold foil Charizard, he offered me 17 other holographics that he owned. Yeah. Pretty much his whole binder. He's like, I'll give you my whole binder for your Charizard. I was like, deal. And pretty much he gave me 17 worthless cards for this one card that's worth like 10 grand today.
Damn it, Iman.
Yeah, I fucked up, dude. I think that's one of my biggest regrets in life.
Yeah.
Not that I almost dropped out of college. I don't give a fuck about that.
So how old was he or anything like that? Like how?
Same age. We were in school, in elementary school, like 5th grade together. Yeah.
Dude, so he recognized that it was valuable.
Oh yeah, because dude, yeah.
Dude, man, how could you do that?
Fucking dumb, dude. My kid ended up selling dope and everything. Like she knows all about trade.
Yeah.
He understands.
Oh man. So what Pokemon cards do you have now?
Fucking trash. I have a binder of I'm just gonna give them to my niece and nephew just to tear them to pieces. It's like a constant reminder of my failure. But yeah, I don't have the Charizard, and I don't even have where the fuck did all those 17 holographics go? I only have like 4 or 5 left. Like I don't know where they all went.
Dude, what the hell, man?
But again, I was a kid, man. Like I'm surprised I still have some of them lingering around.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
See, when I was a kid, we had our cards like in binders and like little sleeves, and
yeah, me too.
And we still have them.
You still have them?
Yes.
Where the fuck is it? Is it here?
My brother has half. I have the other in a box.
What kind do you got? Anything?
It's
rare?
just basketball cards. But yeah, man, I got a 1986 Michael Jordan rookie card. Yeah.
Isn't that worth like a shit ton of money?
Yeah, but I don't think this one is, just because it was
damaged.
Not it was damaged. I think it was like a reprint or something. But it still says 1986, so I just kept it, right? So I still have it.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video. Some dude he bought the packs. They're like $1,000 a pack on eBay.
Wow.
Bought like 3 of them in hopes that he would get that fucking Michael Jordan rookie card.
Yeah.
And he fucking got it in one of the 3 packs. Yeah.
Oh shit!
But I think he damaged it a little bit. Like he fucking opened it and he freaked out. I think he
crushed it.
Yeah, a little bit, and then he went to get it graded. It was like a 8 out
shit.
of 10. So it wasn't. If it's like a mint 10, you're good. That actually counts. You have to get those cards graded.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that has a huge impact on it. Dude, that's so fucking ridiculous, man. Collectors are retarded.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get too much wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know what to do with your money.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with cars and everything. It's just you just have too much money, so you just collect arbitrary bullshit that you really don't need.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a talking piece. I mean, if you show a Michael Jordan rookie card to somebody, they crack their
it's
pants.
cool. It's cool for like 30 seconds, and then you move on.
Yeah, then you move on. Yeah.
But I guess it's cool. People like to have nice, cool things, right?
Well, it's gonna be like that in NFTs, right?
That's true.
It's gonna be the exact same thing. It's like
gonna work.
I paid $1.5 million for this NFT car.
It's people are already doing that. Just because I think there's those people, they're speculating that because they're gonna be like that rookie card, like the first of its kind type shit. So in the future, 20, 30 years from now, if this whole NFT thing takes off and they're going to be holding on to some super valuable treasures,
Yeah, yeah. So going back to these...
if anybody doesn't know what an NFT is, it's a non-fungible token.
Yep.
Which essentially is like it's like a virtual asset, but
non-fungible means like Bitcoin is fungible. You can have 1 Bitcoin or you can have 0.0001 Bitcoin.
Okay.
The fact that you can have a 0.001 Bitcoin, that means it's fungible.
Yeah. And
so non-fungible tokens is you have one of something and there is no point of something. So whenever, for example, you have a CryptoKitty, you have 1 CryptoKitty. You don't have half a CryptoKitty.
And there's only going to be that one CryptoKitty, right?
Yeah, there's just that one.
Yeah, it has a unique idea, I guess.
So it's sort of like
it's
it's a cryptocurrency that can't be broken down, right? There's only
or replicated.
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean that's what a cryptocurrency is. You can't duplicate it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a coin that you can't break into pieces like you can Ethereum and Bitcoin and so forth.
But the reason why that has more value than just say a regular Pokemon card is because it has real world value to it. Well, Pokemon card does too.
They're the same in terms of like rarity and value, but the fact that you can trade it electronically, you can send a CryptoKitty from United States to China.
I guess it's more like not forget Pokemon cards. It's more about video games, like all those cool items you earned in video games. Like, especially if you played WoW, World of Warcraft. There's like certain bosses in that game where you have to spend months to try, and it's based on luck too. That if you could luckily get these like a certain sword, you got it. You know, you get it, but it's not worth anything really unless you sold your account to somebody on the black market, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But if you earn this NFT in, let's say, in a decentralized video game, then you can actually monetize your achievement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can use an NFT exchange to actually sell it, and somebody can take your NFT and port it into their game, or you can transfer the NFT, and if the developers of a new game support those NFTs, then you can showcase your sword on top of your car in this NFT car game.
Yeah,
which would be cool. I mean,
I can't wait to get into Decentraland, man.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
whoever's
that's
listening.
coming. That's
because,
coming.
Apparently, like lots of people are putting out like little snippets of there's a closed beta going on right now for Decentraland.
Yeah.
And it looks cool. Like visually, it looks like something that's interesting, but like you keep bringing up, there's just like nothing to do in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of builder stuff. And of course, they have some developers building these 3D models that look cool, that are unique.
Yeah, like there's cool. They have a museum.
Yeah.
That's already built and it's got like tons of like digital art, I would call it, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like an actual painting somebody did and then they.
Well, I'm sure they took a picture of the painting and they just.
Yeah. So it's like on the wall of this museum. So you can go in with your little character and like look around.
And I'm sure you can purchase it too. I mean, that's the idea.
That's what I have in my head.
Yeah.
It's like a display for artists to,
display their art across the globe.
Exactly. You don't have to go fucking there's probably like tons of awesome artists in New York City, but in order to go see their shit, you got to fucking fly over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, and it's probably really expensive. I don't know if they charge to get in or what.
I think part of the value of seeing art in person, it's the actual piece of art, right? In Decentraland, it's a PNG, right? A JPEG.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose the essence of
the
art. Yeah, absolutely. But nonetheless, I mean, as long as the merchants who are selling the art are honorable, you can still purchase that art there.
You don't think though that like in the future people will value more like digital art than physical art? Like let's say sculpting, like a Greek sculpture today, people revere.
Yeah,
These ancient sculptures, these like naked dudes with tiny wieners. People look at them and they're like, oh, I guess because it's hard to do, right? They
but the thing
chip
is,
away at it.
But the awe of it is its physical presence, not a picture of it.
Because that's what we were used to, physical reality. So I'm thinking in the future, if VR really takes off, and then like 3D artists create these like amazing. I mean, it's already like awe-inspiring when you go into like a beautiful video game and you see some like a virtual world that these artists put together and shit.
Well, for sure.
I'm wondering if some like 3D guy makes just like this beautiful sculpture in a virtual setting, will it still have the same value as like these old art pieces sell for like millions sometimes?
It's tough. It's tough because that sculpture, that 3D art that this creator built, it's tied to a key, right? There's a hash value of that creation that is unique. That's what makes that creation unique. And then you would have to, I guess, tie that into a private key that you can sell, and then that's the only creation that exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is where the value is that this virtual creation, it only exists in this unit only.
Yeah.
right? That's where the value is. And I guess part of the value is who created it. What if it was like?
But I guess what I'm asking is like, will our perceptions change a little bit? Like, it depends.
I think it
on,
will. I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think it will. It's sort of like how kids today they're okay with spending $20 on a virtual shirt.
Exactly.
You know.
Probably more of these. I think
It's probably more.
I play a game called Dota today, and I saw just the other day. It's like 2 swords for your character that you play.
Yeah.
$1,000.
2 swords for $1,000.
$1,000 to buy that, and that shit ain't worth nothing. I mean, you could resell it on the market, but
is there a market for those things? Like,
yeah, there's a market.
They have an actual store that you can
It's
spend real USD dollars.
Yeah, it's a Steam market.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess like in Steam games, there's people buy and sell each other's gear, basically.
See, your market is other players. With NFTs, it's anyone on the planet that wants that NFT. Like, for example, the guy who bought that car for $1.5 million.
Yeah, F1 car.
He may not be playing video games.
No, I think whoever bought that is just a pure speculator. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And we don't even know how, or that guy doesn't even know like how that NFT is going to be incorporated into Decentraland or what. It's just, right now it's just somebody made like a drawing. I don't know if you want to pull it up or something.
Yeah.
See what it looks like. You're recording the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pull it up. This is like a good, if anybody doesn't understand what we're talking about with NFTs, because we talk about Decentraland a lot and stuff, which is a crypto project that aims to be, if anybody's seen that movie Ready Player One, like Decentraland is pretty much like the fucking alpha version of that world in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow, what the fuck is that? I think you found the wrong thing, dude.
Next future transportation.
Yeah.
That's
different NFT. Type in Formula One, F1 car, or just F1. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, that should be it. Whoa. So these are different types of cars, I guess. Yeah, see F1. These are all F1 cars. So who knows? Who knows if one day in Decentraland you'll be able to cruise down the street in these motherfuckers or what? Or they'll create like an awesome racing video game.
Right.
And you just own you know, because the first one that they made of this car sold for like $100,000 or something like that, $200,000. I don't know. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like it was something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
You know, and yeah, this is it. This is the exact car. All it is
$100,000
for that.
Yeah,
it's an image essentially, but it's a unique car on the blockchain, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like a CryptoKitty.
Exactly.
And those were being sold for like tens of thousands of dollars.
So what's the difference between this and like I said, the Steam market? You know, if a video game, say like a racing game, is released on Steam,
so the world is smaller in Steam.
I think you're right. It's because it's unique, right? It's the only one.
Yeah, it's the only one, and I mean, you can use a block. You can be the sole owner of this.
And the reason why this couldn't be done in the past is because of it's
because
not verifiable.
Correct, and you can copy these virtual T-shirts. Right, you wouldn't be able to copy this because that's the whole point of cryptography. You can't make copies of it.
Yeah,
and so. I mean, that's why this is valuable, is because it's unique, right? Yeah. If you could just copy this, then
what video games today do? Like, because it has those $1,000 swords that I'm talking about.
You can buy,
but there's tons of them on the market.
Yeah, you can buy. You know, if you want to buy 10 of them, you can buy 10 of them.
So how come a video game company couldn't do that? Let me think.
Well, they could. They could arbitrarily limit, like only one person could, but it's just limited within the game.
Yeah.
Right. You couldn't. I, as a non-video game player, couldn't buy that dual sword. But
you could if you just log into the marketplace and buy it.
But I would have to log in, and then what am I going to do with it?
I don't know.
It's useless.
I think like these things have to be like cross-platform. Like whatever games they create in this decentralized universe, you got to be able to migrate this asset to different games and stuff. That's going to give it way more value.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, there's like a shit ton of stuff going on with NFTs that I don't know about. I see those tweets all the time, man. Like NFT stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I want to make sure we go back to this and see if we've covered everything. So low interest rates. This is just showing that because of the low interest rates, investors are going to look into putting their money into Bitcoin, as they should.
Yeah, because we always talk about, right, gold and Well, we finally agreed, like, gold and Bitcoin aren't enemies. You know,
No, they're not.
They fulfill pretty much the same purpose. It's like
yeah.
It's when people in the traditional markets like equities and stuff, they panic.
Yeah.
Because they think like shit's about to hit the fan. What do? They balance their their portfolios out and
Sure.
to mitigate risk. So traditionally, it's go to gold, which is showing gold has been going up. So people are, in my mind, I think that's like a warning. People are expecting something.
Yeah. A
is
downturn
coming,
in
right?
the economy. Yeah.
Exactly.
And for Bitcoin, I mean, as of January 2019, all the way through July, it's been the best performing asset
Since when?
since this year, just the last 8 months.
Like around May, right?
Yeah,
when it all
yeah.
started?
So yeah,
Yeah, and that's when a lot of like the trade war shit started happening, you know?
yeah. That's
And
right.
there's always been speculation like the Fed's gonna, get kooky here pretty recently.
Yeah, and the whole fact that the Fed it can print out money and Bitcoin has a max cap at 21 million. I mean, that's a dichotomy that you should kind of break down and understand that Bitcoin should be more valuable than any fiat currency out there just because of its nature.
Yeah, see, something this whole Fed rate decrease thing maybe kind of think about the whole decentralized finance thing.
Yeah.
How it's relatable to like essentially the Fed is like make or DAO, right? It's the Fed's job to regulate
Yeah.
the U.S. dollar. Like in times of crisis, like the Fed has to make the decision, like, oh shit, we got to raise or lower interest rates to make sure the dollar doesn't crumble.
Yeah, because right now there's $22 trillion in debt, and imagine paying interest on $22 trillion.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they raise the ceiling a little bit. They introduce new money in circulation, therefore making it cheaper to pay the interest, right? Because if you have $100,000 in interest that you have to pay,
Yeah.
if you have cheaper dollars to pay that interest, that's better for you.
Yeah.
The only problem is your principal that you loaned out increases, but that's okay because the dollar is cheaper. And so they keep raising that until all of a sudden, people just decide is like, hey, we can't keep raising it because we just devalue the dollar and therefore it's no longer the world's reserve currency. There's better options out there at that point. And so that's sort of why the United States is competing and is trying to stay the world reserve currency by doing these sorts of kind of manipulations. But the problem is that now that we have Bitcoin as an alternative, this is the first time that Bitcoin is going to see the repercussions of the U.S. dollar being devalued and therefore potentially have a $200,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, it should be positive, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way this is negative for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The only way you could see that is in a scenario where everyone's just panicking and just exiting everything. but
exit to what, though?
Yeah, exactly. If the dollar it becomes less valuable. But the thing is, the dollar is what we use to purchase everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not like Bitcoin is a supplement or a replacement for that dollar use case, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I could see people escaping to the Bitcoin for is
Well, it's like
it's a store of value.
store of value, and
But traditionally, people only use like 5 to 10% of their net worth to store their value.
But
right?
think about this. If, let's say, you have $1, right, and you put that dollar into Bitcoin, and then tomorrow that dollar gets valued by 50%, right? That means you have 50 cents. That dollar is now worth really 50 cents.
Yeah.
But you have that Bitcoin. And so essentially you've almost doubled your money just by keeping it in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so then you would go buy your milk. Since they don't take Bitcoin, you convert that Bitcoin into dollars, and that's what you use to buy your milk.
Yeah, but dude, that's a hassle of a process.
It is.
Dude.
It is a hassle, but
sometimes you need.
there is no alternative, though.
Yeah. That's
And then think about this. Once the dollar has runaway inflation, just like some other fiat currencies right now, and in the future is going to be all fiat currencies. But let's say it has a runaway inflation, and Bitcoin's value is not $1 million. It's probably like $20 million per Bitcoin. Why so high? Is because all the fiat currencies that exist are so devalued that it takes that much fiat currency to buy a single Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And at that point, it would be useless to compare a Bitcoin versus a dollar or any other fiat currency. It would just be, it's just going to cost 20 satoshis to buy your movie.
Or maybe not. You know, like we're obviously seeing a new trend of stable coins, like you're just taking
Oh
off.
yeah, true.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like we've already talked about. Iran is pegging, or they're making a digital currency that's pegged to gold, and Iran is launching that. Obviously, Facebook's doing their Libra thing.
Yeah.
We just heard about Walmart is coming out with their own digital currency, and it's gonna give like their customers like rewards, benefits, and discounts if you use their digital currency. So obviously, big corporations are they're looking at this digital currency thing and they're like, holy shit, like this is way better than the dollar.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
We want to accept these stable coins because I don't know, I guess it gives them more control of customer behavior, maybe. I'm not sure.
For sure. Yeah, I mean they could have more control and they can have incentives. I mean, right now if you go and buy something at any store, you use a credit card, right? The store has to spend 3.5% on that transaction. Yeah. So with crypto, they're not spending that 3.5%. They're barely spending 0.01%.
Exactly.
So that's where they want to go. That's why Walmart is pushing cryptocurrencies for their own benefit. They don't give a shit about anybody and sovereign currency and all that stuff. They don't care.
So it's gonna grant them back that 3% essentially.
Which they're huge. Yeah, which is huge. That's like 50% of their bottom line right there returned.
Yeah, it's true. It's not a high margin business at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And that's why Walmart's dominating, because first they're everywhere, and they've squeezed out all the profits that they can out of their out of the products that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But if you return them 3% on every single transaction, that's over 50% of their margin.
Yeah, that's actually pretty. That's important to think about for sure. It's obvious. So my thinking is governments are next, you know, because we're talking about $20 million Bitcoin and stuff, but we're not going to be spending Satoshis, dude.
Yeah.
I think we're going to, unless they call this.
No, for sure. All I'm saying is the only way to actually value something is going to be by how many Satoshis it is.
Oh, because it won't be a dollar value.
It won't be a dollar value because it's irrelevant. It's kind of obsolete. It's sort of like if you put how many bolivars does it take to buy a Bitcoin? It's like 1 trillion. Like, what's the point at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What's that transitioning point gonna look like then? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll see it, but we might.
I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. It sounds scary to me. I like being comfortable with these. I don't want no fucking economic collapse, man. Just to usher in this new digital age of currencies. See, but I feel like that's going to be required, though.
Well, it's okay if there's a collapse as long as you have Bitcoin. You know, because that shit is not going to collapse.
Dude, not everyone's going to have Bitcoin is what I'm saying. The majority of people won't, and then they're going to suffer.
That's true.
Yeah, us fucking nerds. We might get rich off this shit, but like we're still gonna hurt because everyone's hurting, right? And we go down with them.
Right.
You know, it's not good news.
That's
it's kind of like that scene. I don't know if you've seen The Big Short. It's like that scene where
I don't know if I've seen it.
No, it's one with Brad Pitt, and it's all about
I don't think I've seen it. I want to see it.
You got to, dude. All the shit you show me, you never watch anything I tell you to watch. God damn it! You watch that as soon as you can.
How many times have you told me to watch The Big Short?
Like twice, but like twice. But it was a long time ago. But obviously you just blew it off. Like fuck it, it's probably retarded. It's a good fucking movie if you want to understand the financial crisis. And there's another one called Margin Call, which I think is even better.
Yeah,
but it's kind of more like serious tone.
Sure.
Big Short is kind of like a comedy.
Yeah.
/ serious, but anyways, there's
I feel like I've seen it because it's so
You maybe like watch some clips.
Yeah,
let's watch the clip of the scene I'm thinking of. Type in The Big Short and just type in The Big Short, and then I'll find the clip just off of the way it looks. Oh, you missed. I think it's okay. Scroll down. Yeah, I'll tell you when I see it. Keep going down. Hold on. Stop. Keep scrolling down. Haven't seen it yet. Keep going down.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I don't recognize this.
You don't recognize any of this stuff? Yeah, you probably haven't then. Just keep going down. It's a good fucking movie. Where the fuck is the scene? Come on, keep going down. Right there. Shorts turn on Wall Street, I think. Oh, fuck.
It's 8 minutes.
Once the industry leader, by the way, filed for bankruptcy, the company immediately.
Okay, no, this is a scene where like everything's starting to shit the fan or hit the fan.
Yeah, yeah.
But these guys, they're like a couple of young guys, and they shorted the market, you know,
Yeah.
ahead of time, so they're gonna make a killing.
I'm gonna call my mom.
Fast forwarded though.
Yeah.
Source of the
Let me
slowdown
see.
in economic
Keep going, all the way, keep going.
If I'm not gonna burn my reputation.
Never mind. It's before this shit. Like the scene.
Okay.
Anyways, the scene. It's like they're celebrating. Like yeah. It's like we got our deal because they got like the Brad Pitt character to get them like a $200 million whatever the fuck
Yeah.
like access to short the market, and they're all celebrating. And then Brad Pitt's like hold on motherfuckers, like you realize what you just did? Like you're pretty much betting on like the collapse of our financial system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, which is fucked up in a way, but.
Yeah, but that's part of the game, though.
I know it's part of the game, but when you think about it, it's like they're betting on just shit. I don't know.
Apocalypse, essentially.
Yeah.